Okay, this is exercise 20B, which covers the perfect tense of verbs. This is the second time, as you can see from the Roman numeral 2 here, that you've seen this perfect tense. Now you see it, the tense fully fleshed out into all of its forms. So you have the persons and numbers here. So just as you had for present tense, this was like an O, and this was an S, and this was a T, and this was a mus, and this was a tis, and this is an NT here for the different persons and numbers, like whether I love or he loves or we love. This is the endings for perfect tense. So you can see, I mean, there's some similarity. There's still a mus here, and there's a tis here, and there's an NT there, but certainly they've changed a little bit. And this is new entirely. There's still a T here for third person singular, and isti is entirely new, really. So you want to learn these by saying to yourself a couple times, E isti it, imus istis erunt. And you see them added on to an actual verb here. So this is misi, which comes from the verb mitto, mittere, to send. So this means I sent. Remember, perfect tense is finished, completed action. I sent, you sent, he sent, we sent, you all sent, and they sent here. So for 20B, all you're really doing is considering who the subject is, who is doing the action of this sentence or these clauses here, and supply the right ending based on who you know to be the subject. So I'll do the first, let's see, there are 10, so I'll do at least three of them since it's kind of late in the week. So I can't keep these endings up there throughout, but we'll go back to them as we sort of go through them. So number one, ego liberos in horto petive something. Tu eos in silva inven something. So who are the subjects of these two clauses? And the answer is ego is one and two is another. Now, again, it won't always be that easy. It won't always be the first word in the sentence, but here it is definitely ego that is the subject. Liberos can't be the subject. Can't be like the children saw me in the garden, or no, not saw, but looked for me in the garden, because liberos is accusative. So ego is your nominative subject here, and liberos is the direct object. So I looked for the children in the garden, and you found them in the woods, in the forest. So we think about ego, that's first person singular. Ego equals e ending here. So ego liberos in horto petivi. I looked for them. Ego petivi. You found them. Now we're going to use the second person singular ending. This is you singular here. Maybe it's good to just go through this again real quick. I, you, meaning you singular, right? We see singular here, just one you. He, she, or it here. We, you all, or you plural, and they. So back to the problem here. Tu eos in silva invenisti. Invenisti. Tu invenisti. Ego in petivi. Tu invenisti. Number two, ubi tunica sexti in ramis haerebat, nos omnes what? This roughly says, when Sextus's tunic was sticking in the branches, we all laughed. Not we all laugh, not we all were laughing, but we all laughed. So, we is the subject, nos omnes, we all. What person and number is we? That is first person plural, so we're going to attach emus as the ending to this verb here. Ris is the perfect, what is called the perfect stem of the verb rideo, ridere. So this is the past tense of laugh, of to laugh. So nos omnes risimos. Let's shoot down to number three now. Quo iit cornelia, ego et Marcus patrem hoc rogav something, sed ille nihil respond something. Quo iit, let's see, is there any new vocabulary down here to look at? Not for this question, I don't think. Quo iit Cornelia, where did Cornelia go? This is from the verb eo ire, And this is again perfect tense of to go. Where? To where, literally, did Cornelia go? I and Marcus, or we would say Marcus and I, asked Father this, but ille, which is actually introduced as he here, but he responded nothing, or he replied nothing, or you could also say he did not reply, maybe. So, what are the missing blanks here? We see ego et Marcus. Now, who is that? Who does that, when you put those two together, what do they become? Marcus and I is a we. So we're going to go back to first person plural for we again, and we see again the emos ending. So we're going to say ego et Marcus patrem hoc rogavimus, but now you know he is he, she, or it. That's third person singular. But he responded nothing. So here we need third singular. And we look back to the chart here and we see it is the ending for this verb here. So it said ille nihil respondit. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it with that, but you get the idea. Really just think about who is the subject or who's being spoken to. Like here in this number one, number five, Marcus and Cornelia, you can tell by the vocative here. Marcus and Cornelia are being spoken to. So, what do they, if they're being spoken to together, what are they? They are a you plural. So, you're going to need a second person plural ending for this one. And then pater et mater, father and mother did something. They ordered us to stay here, it looks like. So you need to think about third person plural for them. They are a they here, not just a pater or a mater, but both. So think about who the subject of each of the verbs is. Go back to the chart until you have these memorized, which I always urge you to do, and then plug in the right endings. It's actually a fairly straightforward exercise. And then make sure your translations reflect perfect tense, past completed action, not present tense, not imperfect tense, but all verbs should be perfect now. Okay, that's it for this one, and we'll look at 20E next.